Hello and welcome to Half Price Tuesdays Oscar prediction special. I'm Vinny, along as always with Dorsey.
Hi.
All right, so what we got going on right now is the 90th Academy Awards are on March 4th. We actually are both in situations where a lot of the last minute Oscar stragglers have just come out around us, so that's why this is we didn't jump on this right away. Um, didn't even really do
I mean,
like a
there's still plenty of stuff I have not seen. I haven't seen any of the foreign movies.
I haven't either.
Um, but all the major players have been out, watched, were good,
Right.
which was better than last year. Like last year, I don't think I saw a couple of them until like after the Oscars had already happened.
My theater was advertising the hell out of what is that, In the Fade, and then that didn't even get nominated. So that was like the one that I think a few theaters were waiting to bring that in. Because yeah, my artsy theater, which I'm depending on for these, is not even playing any of those foreign films yet. So
I
that's gonna
think
be.
I'm getting in the fade, but it's not. It ended up not getting nominated. So
We were supposed to get the Oscar short films soon. Oh, yeah, we were supposed to get like the Oscar shorts and animated film and all that, which I planned on doing, but it's not on the list, so I guess I gotta wait another week. But
people only care about those in so much as they put off their prediction game because they have no idea because they haven't seen them.
I mean, I think this year two I've already seen. I'm just gonna be glad to watch them all together, and I just like going. It's like a mini film festival that you pay a normal ticket price for. It's not like a special event where it's going to be $15. You still pay a normal ticket price and go in. So that's kind of cool, and I've done it in the past.
Hmm.
But we should just jump right in because this is going to go for a bit.
Let's
So,
do it.
all right. So, real quick, Alejandro G. Iñárritu is getting another Oscar as he made a VR film called Carne Ya Arena, which I don't know how you would see it. I think you have to end up at some special screening, probably in New York or LA, and that's cool. It's I don't know how long it's going to take for VR films to be more normal and we actually go see them, but that's cool. We'll probably have to. He's going to
I'm
come
a
up.
documented hater of his,
Oh, okay.
so I'll pass on that.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that, but I can kind of understand. So we'll go right to
He's not nominated this year for anything anyone actually cares about, so
right.
that's for next year, I
Well,
guess.
he won Best Director 2 years in a row. He can kind of just do what he wants now.
Yeah, he'll do whatever he wants, to the detriment of us all. It's okay.
I thought The Remnant was okay, but he didn't need to win Director 2 years in a row. I agree. Um, so first up, we have Best Achievement in Production Design, which is Beauty and the Beast, Darkest Hour, Shape of Water, Dunkirk, and Blade Runner 2049. So personally, uh,
What do you think is going to happen, and then what do you
th-
think should happen?
well, I my thing is that
And
I
are
know
you mad Beauty and the Beast is there?
Beauty and the Beast looked fine. I wasn't a fan of a lot of the new songs are just were one in one ear, one out the other. I didn't hate Beauty and the Beast by any means, but it looked fine. I didn't mind
I
the look of
thought
it.
it looked really like busy and distracting. Like it was just really swirly and ornate looking for the sake of it, but it
Eh,
didn't
I mean, I took it as it's trying to be a kids
look.
safe musical,
I
so it's
didn't.
going to be high fantasy. and that's the effect they wanted, and I picked up on it.
I don't know.
But
You can look at my review from back in March if you want.
yeah,
Where like I hated the production design of this movie, and here it is, just because it's like big, like it's over designed.
sure. It
It's
doesn't
not the
feel.
best production design, it's the most production design. I hated it. The Shape of Water should have been.
Did you know that
And
the same team behind Beauty and the Beast did Darkest Hour? I actually didn't know that
um
till I just saw it just now.
oh
They're the
yeah,
same.
it looks like
They're the
it
same
is the
two
same
women,
team.
which
Darkest Hour
kind
is
of
fine,
makes
and this is fine.
it makes sense because Darkest Hour also kind of feels like very showy. Like it's good. It's just Beauty and the Beast and Darkest Hour kind of feel the least, I guess, lived in. Like they, you can tell you're on a film set. You're watching something.
It's a little too pristine, I guess.
Yeah, even for something like Darkest
Like
Hour, which is a war film, and a lot of it's in that underground bunker, it still feels like you're watching a film. Even though I like Darkest Hour a lot, and I know Joe Wright has a distinct style, and that's how it's going to look.
right.
But even like Blade Runner, which you know, it's supposed to be this big futuristic world, but when you first look at his car, it's dusty and dirty, and there's like chip bags and cans everywhere, and it's like it's a small detail, but it's like you would everything isn't like clean and chrome. It's looks lived in. It's like yeah, it's the future, but this is still a world where not everything's going to look nice and clean. And I loved the hell of Blade Runner more than The Shape of Water, but I would love it if Blade Runner won. I'm not. I know Shape of Water got the 13 nominations. That doesn't always translate into sweeping. I
Oh,
cannot
of
say.
course.
I cannot say right now if Shape of Water is going to pull off some massive sweep because if it did, that would mean we're getting Sally Hawkins and Richard Jenkins, which we're not. Um,
Okay, I don't think it's gonna be a massive sweep, but I'm gonna call four, I think.
4 wins. What I think is going to pull it off, it's to me, it's either between Blade Runner and Shape of Water. Dunkirk, I feel is going to get a lot of nominations like it did, and not, I don't, I can't see Dunkirk being a guarantee anything. Dunkirk might walk out with nothing, and it's just going to be the film that finally got Nolan a director nomination. Uh,
Did he? Oh yeah, he did. He did.
yeah, he did. He
I'm
pushed
thinking.
out. He pushed out
Okay.
Martin McDonough.
I didn't
So
think he pushed out Martin McDonough because I think that Nolan was gonna be in there anyway. I mean, it was Anderson that was a surprise, right?
oh, it was a couple surprises. I mean, to me, Nolan. I mean, I assumed that like I still never thought he had a chance till he got in. That's just how I felt this whole time. Like McDonough, you know, directing the most likely best actress and supporting actor winner, the directing the film that's been the front runner for most of the year, and he doesn't get in. I figured that it was going to end up being him over anything, but once that didn't happen, I was pretty. PTA getting in though anyway was just an awesome surprise. So if I guess it makes more sense that he pushed him out, but
I mean, PTA didn't get in for DGA even, so
no,
he was definitely like the surprise to the group, I would
and
say.
his screenplay didn't get in just because the screenplay is so stacked. But we'll get to that
It's
later.
way stacked. Like,
So production design, I would love it if Blade Runner won, but I honestly feel Shape of Water's got it because that film's absolutely beautiful.
I
Especially
feel like
this.
Blade Runner will take cinematography instead.
Yeah, if it's winning anything, it's that. But we'll. I have a couple things to say on that too. But
Sure.
I think the main thing with Shape of Water is that Shape of Water looks like a Tim Burton movie, that I'm glad he didn't direct, because then it would have looked too much like a Tim Burton movie and been overdone. But it's like a restrained version of something he would have made, and it works pretty well. Next is animated feature, which I had to make some noble sacrifices to make sure that I understood this category completely.
I don't at all. I've only seen Coco.
Okay.
Um,
Coco's
I
gonna
would,
win.
yeah, like I don't have to see the rest of them to know that Coco's gonna win.
I mean, I saw Loving Vincent back in like the week it was out near me. And I think, did you say Loving Vincent just showed up near you, or is that someone else telling me that?
No, it did show up near me at one point,
Okay.
and I missed it. It was only out for a couple of days, so.
Okay. Someone else I know who lives out of state told me it just showed up. It's like, that's random. Loving Vincent is a gorgeous film that is entirely hand painted in these oil paintings, except they're painting over actual acted segments, so they're painting over the frame, so it just looks like rotoscoping, and it's really distracting. But when they're not
Right.
doing that, it looks amazing. But then the story is like this mystery movie about something that we know isn't true, and the story itself the film is telling brings it down. Even though it's out of the 5 films nominated, it's the best looking one, and it took them 8 years to make this film. But the directing duo that put this film together, I think, already won an Oscar for like short back in the mid 2000s. So them not winning is like, it's fine because they've won already, but it's worth watching. Out of the 5 that I would love to see win is The Breadwinner. So hard, because The Breadwinner is my favorite out of this 5 by far. But
Is it? That's good because I have wanted to watch it. I just haven't gotten to yet.
Breadwinner was only around here for a week, and like, you know what it's about.
Kind of. Don't tell me anything.
Okay, I won't. But it's the woman was part of a directing duo that did Secret of Kells about 7 years ago.
Right, right.
So she did her own film, and it's better than Secret of Kells. It just looks better. It just feels fuller. She's definitely the better of the two, it seems. And then Ferdinand has Aryan horses running around, telling Ferdinand he smells, and then as they walk away, they go, I bet his parents aren't even related. And I laughed my ass off, and that's the only notable thing in the movie. Except there's a Frankenstein bull that was made in a lab, and they called him Machina, and every time they called him Machina, I'm like, I should be watching that instead.
Okay, so
But
next category.
no, well, no, I gotta.
I
Okay,
I don't need this.
Boss Baby implies that when Boss Baby and the older brother grow up, Boss Baby sleeps with his older brother's wife and sires a bastard daughter, and that's the end of the movie. There, you don't need to watch it. I told you the best part of the ending. Anyway,
need to watch it anyway.
But yeah, Coco's gonna win by far because people suck, but Breadwinner deserves it so much more. Anyway, foreign language film. None of these have come out yet. Actually, well, no, that's
On Body and Soul is on Netflix as of a couple days ago.
Oh,
but I haven't watched it yet.
Thank you for telling me that. I'm going to add that to my queue as I'm sitting here. The Square came out, actually, I forgot. It came out around November. I had no interest in it. I didn't realize it was a foreign language film because the trailer is in English, not
Elizabeth
dubbed.
Moss is in it.
Yeah.
Which is why
I didn't know.
I wanted to see it.
If I had
haven't seen it.
I had like no interest in it at all. There's certain like I can take like goofy foreign films, but it's like the whole film is like the art scene is bullshit. Like, it sure is. I live in the suburbs near Cleveland, Ohio. That I don't care. What does that mean to me? So that's why I skipped it. But the insult from Lebanon just showed up at the Artsy Theater like today, so I might try to go catch that early Monday if I have time. Loveless is supposed to be like the front runner from what I've heard. I know nothing about
I
it.
thought it was supposed to be a Fantastic Woman.
Uh, it was supposed to be
I
the
don't
front.
know.
It
It
was
was
supposed.
supposed to be, and then in the Fade won everything, and
Yeah,
then it wasn't even nominated. So
right. I think like
as far
Fantastic.
as like me keeping up,
Yeah.
this one seems kind of up in the air right now, but I can't really weigh in having not seen any of them.
Loveless came out in just New York. It has no wide release yet, so I don't know if we'll even be getting that right away. But I know Fantastic Woman kind of came in late and started like becoming a front runner, maybe more because of its subject matter. But I do want to see it soon. That's definitely a priority when it does come out. So I can't really say anything on this category yet. It seems to be between Loveless and a Fantastic Woman. The Square out of the five is probably the one that's been most likely seen by voters, at least to me, because it's actually been around. But off the top of my head, I'm gonna say Fantastic Woman wins, but I'm not gonna know until if any of these happen to come out in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
But
hell if I know.
yeah, it was supposed to be in the Fade, and it didn't get nominated. So I'm gonna say Fantastic Woman. I'm on record. What's that documentary feature? Everyone was talking about Jane, and then that didn't even get nominated. So I don't know, but I can't
Faces
say.
Places, I think, is on Netflix, but I haven't seen it yet. A few of these are on Netflix.
Okay,
That's still just now with Mudbound, like the only place Netflix has like gotten in at all, basically, has been
right.
documentary.
I'll try to if I have the time. I'll try to catch at least one or two of them, or I might just wait to see what wins and then watch that. But yeah, I unfortunately don't have much to say about documentary. Maybe Faces Places just because of Agnes Varda, but what's that documentary short subject? Yeah, sure. Then live action short film and animated short. I do want to try to see those when like we get like the mini film festival thing, which is probably going to be next week for me. I will try to go. Um, when it comes to animated short, uh, I believe Negative Space was the one that came out about 2 years ago that everyone was going nuts about on Letterbox. I think that's the one.
For animated,
I
it couldn't have
think,
come out 2 years ago.
or like it took a while for it to come up, or unless I'm mixing it up with something else. Actually, I am. So forget I said that.
Probably are.
Sorry.
Um,
Out of the five, I've obviously only seen Lou because that was in front of Cars 3. And
oh, I didn't see Cars 3. I haven't seen any of these.
mm,
I saw In a Heartbeat, which wasn't nominated.
oh my god, yeah, I forgot about In a Heartbeat. You're right. In a Heartbeat was awesome.
It was too cute
It was too
to
cute,
live,
and
and so it's not nominated.
well, or as I heard enough people bitch, if it wasn't about two gay kids, no one would have cared. I'm like, please go to hell.
It was cute. Get out of here.
Lou is about a box of lost toys at a daycare, and all the lost toys create their own ghost thing, and they go around helping kids find lost things. And I'm like, kids, if you looked at this box 3 feet to your left, the movie would be over, and it's dumb. And it might win because it's Pixar. So I can't say anything yet. I'll say Lou because why not? All right, so
Um,
yes.
it's Pixar, so that's probably a safe bet.
Although the Pixar doesn't, it being Pixar or Disney doesn't always guarantee the animated short because I think people vote random on a lot of these, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, they just vote for what they've seen.
Right. I mean, I'm sure they send out mini DVDs with all five movies and they expect some people to watch. Because I know they're nominated by a committee, then after that they're voted by everyone.
Right.
I think after that we're on to stuff we've actually seen.
Okay, yeah. Skip
Best
the shorts and the whatever.
best achievement in music written for motion picture original score. And we have Hans Zimmer for Dunkirk, John Williams for Star Wars: The Last Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
Carter Burwell for Three Billboards, Alexander Desplat for Shape of Water, and Johnny Greenwood finally for Phantom Thread. Johnny Greenwood has gotten dicked over on Oscar nominations for years because it's always been, oh no, you used three notes that were for something else, so you can't get nominated. Like for There'll Be Blood, which is one of the best scores I've ever heard in my life, and it didn't
It's
qualify.
great.
I fucking love There'll Be Blood. Um, Out of
I
this
think
five,
Arrival got screwed out of this category last year for
Arrival,
that reason.
it did, and that sucked because that violin music in the beginning, after I got done listening to it again, I'm like, I know I've heard this before, and it's like, yeah, this is someone else's song. And it sucked because the majority of the score for Arrival was a cappella music because it's voices, and the movie's about using your voice in your language. So you're communicating through the music. The score was genius, but all they could pay attention to was the violin shit from the beginning, and they disqualified it when it was a genius fucking score. Anyway, sorry. Out of these five, the one that deserves it the least is Three Billboards because now that I've seen it three times, the guitar music when that stuff's going on, when it's like more like almost like a up like an upbeat western score, it's really good. When it's her standing in front of the billboards being sad, it just sounds like a Hallmark movie, and I it's my least favorite part of that film, and I love Three Billboards a lot. I I know it's been a long. I think it's like either it's his first nomination or he rarely gets in, but out of those five, that's the one that deserves it the least. And if it wins, I will be a little disappointed.
I would say, like, I wouldn't put The Last Jedi in there either, just because it's most of just the same songs from
Eh,
like previous movies.
right.
And I'm a staunch Last Jedi defender. Like, I've been going to bat for this movie since it came out, and it's not going to stop. I don't know that it needs to be here in this category. Where's Good Time? Did anyone watch that except for me, or what?
I also saw it. He's nominated once before. Carter
You
Burwell,
would,
by the was nominated
yeah.
for Carol. Um, no, Good
Oh,
Time.
Carol, that
Yeah, sorry, I was listening to everything you said because Good Time does. If Good Time had gotten in over Three Billboards or Star Wars, I'd have been totally cool.
they don't really go for like the committee base might be a little too like
Right.
old
It's
for that kind of
true.
thing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at these are all, these are mostly good scores, but
Yeah.
they're classical, I guess.
Yes, they are.
Like the synth soundtrack doesn't really do it for whoever the committee is to nominate these because
John
yeah.
Williams hasn't won since Schindler's List. And before that he won for E.T. and then he won like 2, 3 years in a row in the 70s. But they have just nominated
He's
him
nominated every year though.
right. And it's just like it's that Meryl Streep thing. Not that it's bad, it's John Williams. I mean, you can't shit on him, but I Last Jedi, the thing I can't say I remember too much of enough of the score for me to go that's a new piece. And
I saw it twice and I can't really remember any of like its I mean I remember Ray's theme, but that was in the last movie.
right. Yeah, it's
And
an unfortunate thing.
the ones that are in every Star Wars movie, like the Force theme
Hmm.
and the song for like the opening crawl, but I don't remember anything specifically from The Last Jedi. So I don't think that's gonna win. Three
No,
Billboards doesn't really have any business there. I think this
no.
one's gonna be Shape of Water.
I think if it was Shape of Water, it would make sense. I mean, Hans Zimmer and Dunkirk did really well, but again, I still think Dunkirk might walk away with nothing. I don't think they're going to go, no, we got to give it something. Um, but it's fine. I personally love the score to Phantom Thread. I need to go see it again, but the score was just its own thing. I don't.
I love the score for Phantom Thread too. I
Yeah.
I like the one for Shape of Water a little bit better though.
I think Shape of Water is just it does so much to help the film get everything. And he did win for he won the Globe for it. And he's the last time he was nominated, I think, yeah, he won for Budapest Hotel. So and before that he was nominated like 6 times. So I don't know if they feel like handing it to him again right away.
Mhm.
But to me, it's between Phantom Thread and Shape of Water for my personal. Shape of Water's probably got it. But if they say Johnny Greenwood's name, I'm not gonna be disappointed. But to me, that's like my 1 and 2.
Right.
Best original song, best achievement in music written for motion picture original song. Now, what deserves to win so far above the other 4 is Sufjan Stevens. Like so hard. Like I've been watching that music video for Mystery of Love for the last last couple weeks. I just
I agree.
I don't think it's gonna win, but I mean, Remember Me isn't like, this radio song like Let It Go.
Right.
So I don't think it's gonna it isn't like sweeping everything at all.
I mean this is a hard category to predict.
It is.
So often it's just like nonsense. Remember the other year when Sam Smith won over that Lady Gaga song? Like, what even?
Okay. So
Uh-oh.
Sam Smith gets on stage and says, "I'm the first openly gay man to accept an Oscar, and I wanted Elton John to walk out
That
and
was so
smack him."
bad.
And then Dustin Lance Black come out and go, "Hi, I won an Oscar for original screenplay," and then said, "I want to marry my partner someday," and then smack him too. Like, what the fuck? I really don't like Sam Smith that much, and Writings on the Wall is nowhere near the best Bond theme. Like, Skyfall's one of the best Bond themes ever, and
Skyfall deserved it.
yeah, I could talk an hour for
Writing
about
on
just.
the Wall.
He wrote it in 10 minutes. I'm like, no shit, really? It was
Nobody even liked it.
no. It was. I mean, okay, it took.
And
30...
it was like right after the performance that she did.
Right.
It, like brought the whole house down, and here he is with Writing on the Wall.
Right. It took 50.
Wall.
It took 50 years for a Bond film to win the Oscar for theme. Some of the most iconic movie music of all goddamn time. It took almost 50 years, and they give it for Skyfall, and then they let it happen again for nothing. I'm not gonna. Sorry, that's years ago. Meanwhile, this year, Remember Me.
We don't have to be salty about it still, but I can use it as evidence to say that I don't know how to predict this category. I feel like it's gonna be Coco,
unless there's something obvious like
Mystery of Love.
I want it to be Mystery of Love so hard. I mean, okay, stand up for something. I went and saw Marshall out of just it was 10 p.m. and I had nothing to do. It's a credit song. It's a rap song. It's fine. It's nothing special. you could have nominated Sufjan twice, because why not? Instead of doing,
could have nominated The Pure and the Damned from Good Time, but I'm gonna like get off my Good Time thing.
Good Time is great. I am there with you.
But Common won a couple years ago.
He did, for a better song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that year, I wanted Everything Is Awesome to win because they've dicked over Lego Movie, but whatever. I was happy with Selma winning that.
Yeah, that was fine.
If that picks up, it's like, wow, Common has 2 Oscars. Wes Anderson has none. Gary Oldman has 1, maybe. It was like, no. This Is Me from The Greatest Showman with the lyricist from La La Land. I'm assuming you didn't watch Greatest Showman.
I didn't.
This Is Me, I'm assuming you've heard it at some point because it's in all the trailers.
Is that the one they play in the trailers? I don't know. I guess okay. Yes then.
This Is Me in the movie.
I haven't gone out of my way for it.
The soundtrack's decent. The best song from The Greatest Showman is Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron in a bar. And Hugh Jackman's trying to convince Zac Efron to join the circus. And that whole interaction's great. It's like maybe the best scene in the film. But This Is Me is the, hi, LGBTQ audience, please love us. Please adopt this song, please. Just please do it. Please, please. That's the whole song. It's please play us at pride parades. Just please use this song, please. And that's all it is. And I hate that it's like the main song, because I'm not kidding. If you ever are forced to watch it, or if you just watch the scene on YouTube, it's like it's all the freaks singing because Barnum won't let them go to a party. And they're like, oh, okay, we're good enough for the circus, but you won't let us meet normal people. Like, shut the fuck up. It's just, Remember Me from Coco is fine. It's a solid song, but its use in the movie might be enough to push it over, because its use in the movie is them trying to make a really sad moment. But the song is just a like 40s Western guitar ballad. That's all it wants to be. And then Mighty River from Mudbound, I think, is another credit song, and I hate credit songs winning.
It is a credit song.
Yeah, and I don't even remember it. I barely do. It's
fine, but
I mean, I like Mudbound, but
I don't think
not for that song.
Yeah, it's not really on the same level as the Frontrunner and my passion pick, so yeah, no.
What I want to win is Sufjan Stevens for The Mystery of Love.
Same.
What I have a dread for, though, is This Is Me from The Greatest Showman winning. I've been thinking about it. It's like it's out of the 5, it's the one I've heard the most just on TV and whatever.
I don't know, like if people are just, I feel like sometimes in this category it just comes down to people vote for what they saw.
Right.
And I think out of these, more people have seen Coco. And it helps that the song is good also. I mean, The Greatest Showman, I guess, like, did okay. But people weren't in a rush to, like, pull their screeners out, I feel like.
Sure.
I mean, the studio itself said, like, this is more of a Golden Globes movie than an Oscar movie.
Right.
Which is code for, like, it's a passable musical.
Yeah. It's, I have a couple friends on Facebook that are passionate about it, though, like, surprisingly. Like, when the news...
How odd. Like,
the news... Well, a couple... there's at least 2 different girls who don't even know each other who love musicals, and there's... Apparently, within the last few days, they announced that they're considering putting an official Broadway adaptation of the movie. out on Broadway, and they're like, "Holy shit, we have to go to New York to go see that." And I'm like, "I didn't think you cared enough about that to drive that way and pay that much money, but sure." But I have a feeling that's going to win just over Remember Me, because if those are like 1 and 2. But if I swear to God, she opens up the envelope, it says The Mystery of Love, or whoever's going to announce it, I'm just going to be so fucking happy. And if they say Mighty River, I'll go, "Oh, hey, Mary J. Blige got the win." Real quick, best achievement in makeup and hairstyling. It's probably going to Darkest
Yeah,
Hour.
it'll be The Darkest Hour. I don't feel we need to discuss that much further.
I saw Wonder. Wonder was okay. Victoria and Abdul, I'm never gonna watch. I don't even know where the makeup came from, but Darkest Hour's winning.
I don't know. I like period piece makeup, I guess,
Sure.
but not drastic. So it's just like everything it did, The Darkest Hour did, but like with a drastic transformation. So it's not happening. Darkest Hour is winning.
Darkest Hour's winning. I think if Wonder was getting like more attention, like maybe it picked up like I don't know, screenplay, maybe it'd have more of a chance. But it's Darkest Hour. There's only 3 this year anyway. Now, next is a huge one because for multiple reasons, but best achievement in visual effects. I knee-jerk reaction is Blade Runner. I honestly feel out of the 5, it essentially deserves it. It just seems most likely.
That's your. Okay, so we have Blade Runner, Kong Skull Island, War for the Planet of the Apes, Guardians 2, and The Last Jedi.
Yes, I should have said that.
That's okay. I got you. Blade Runner is what you want or what you think is going to happen?
It's my knee-jerk reaction of what I feel is most likely going to pick it up.
Okay, because I think it's going to be Angry Monkeys.
You know what? I was wondering about it. I think the team that did... Yeah, I'm looking it up. At least part of the team who did the 3-8 movies are the same ones who worked on Avatar, and then when Avatar was winning all those awards. And oddly enough, when the last time there was a King Kong movie in theaters, they won for that too. And now they're competing against a King Kong movie.
But like the previous 2 Planet of the Apes movies in this like reboot cycle were nominated.
Yes, did not win.
Even though like arguably like they probably should have.
The one
I don't remember who they lost to.
They didn't
be in the lineup.
I'm gonna look real quick, but no, I'm wondering if that might be a bit of a storyline that someone tries to push.
Exactly, like this is the last of the trilogy.
Right.
They haven't won yet, and like, really, you're gonna nominate?
Well, Guardians
of the Galaxy with his just like nebula colors. Okay.
It lost to Hugo in the first one. Lost to Hugo, but Hugo was sweeping like every special effects.
Do you have what the second one lost to?
And then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes lost to... This is almost the same team. I'm going off one guy, but he's on all 3 of them, and I think it was a lot of the same people. So I might be slightly off, but come on. Visual effects. Oh, that was Interstellar, which Interstellar deserved that a lot. So
it's come in second place basically twice at this point.
Yeah, because there was a lot of praise for the realism. War for Planet of the Apes itself, I liked it a lot. I just cannot give any real emotions personally into CGI apes. I just can't. I understand it. I know that Andy Serkis does an amazing job, and the films are completely worth watching, but I've never felt emotion. I mean, I felt the more emotion towards CGI stuff, but that was Up, and that was a long time ago, and that wasn't fair because the grandma dies in Up, and my grandma died 3 months earlier than that, so that was cheating. Other than that,
I mean, I felt real emotions for Rocket and Groot, but I think on a technical level, like
Yeah.
I'd give it to War for the Planet of the Apes.
If I
But
haven't
I
heard
think there's enough of a narrative to make it like
like yeah, I haven't heard anything. I'm sure if I looked into it, I'd be like, I think if those guys never won before, but a lot of that team worked on Avatar and won before, so the team has done and won awards before, so maybe it won't feel as needed, which is
I
probably
don't
why
think the ballot has the list
of the
of
names.
like the team on it though. I mean, it has like single nomination names. Like for director, it
Sure.
says Nolan, Gerwig, Peele, whatever. But I think
Well,
for the what the ballot says for
mhm.
achievement in visual effects is just going to be the
The
name of the
movie.
movie.
What I'm all I meant was I don't think there's anyone really trying to push that narrative, like going up to voters like, hey, the apes guys, they've never won before, and this is their thing. It's the last ape movie. Um, if War wins, it deserves it. I would love to see Blade Runner win,
Hmm.
but I mean, Kong Skull Island had some awesome stuff, but it wasn't even about the visual effects. It just honestly was just set up well. It was almost more of the art direction and more of like almost the directing. Like
Hmm.
I liked a lot of Kong Skull Island. It wasn't perfect, but I wouldn't. My first thought isn't all those visual effects on how Kong looked. It was like you know either War for Planet of the Apes or Blade Runner. I feels like that's your one and two. Last Jedi's in there because it's Star Wars. I If it wins, I'd be surprised because okay, what's gonna win for
Yeah,
the
I don't think Star Wars is going to win.
no? It's either between War for Planet of the Apes and Blade Runner. Um, I the more I'm thinking about it, I feel War for Planet of the Apes could be number one, but I wouldn't be surprised with either of them winning. Um, let's see, what's this? Best achievement in sound editing and sound mixing, which is not next to each other because they're stupid.
Well, they're
Um,
the same five nominees.
they
You got
sure are.
Baby Driver, Dunkirk, The Shape of Water, Blade Runner, and The Last Jedi in both
and I
categories.
and I think it's been officially confirmed that this has never happened before ever, which is insane.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's never happened that the same five films got it for both. So let's just pretend they're the same category.
No, okay,
Random.
because my prediction is that they're gonna split.
Okay.
I
Um,
have Dunkirk for editing and Baby Driver for mixing.
I could see that. I mean, I think
Editing always goes to war movies. If there's a war movie available,
right.
that's what we got.
I mean, Star Wars is wars in the title, so now you got to call that number two.
I
Sorry.
mean,
There was a whole war there with yeah. I'm not going to start talking about Star Wars again, but yeah, I can see that. I could see Dunkirk picking these up. Maybe maybe Baby Driver on one of them just for the sake of you know giving it something, but I think it's another one where people just vote randomly unless there's something obvious. So Dunkirk, yeah, yours sound actually pretty
they split
fair.
last year, didn't they? Like Hacksaw won one of them and Arrival won one of them?
Hacksaw didn't win both.
I don't think so.
I like the one year. I think it was like 2012, where like sound editing or mixing split, and like they gave it to Zero Dark 30 and something else, or an Interstellar. I think no, that's different years. I don't remember, but it was like a random split, and like yeah, I think
Yeah,
Hacks. No,
Arrival won editing last year and Hacksaw won mixing.
oh, it won film editing, which came out of fucking nowhere. That's what it was. I was like, I remember it winning,
Yeah,
like
that was
two.
random and
That kind of felt like a vote split.
questionable.
Oh yeah, because Hacksaw Ridge had Kevin O'Connell, who had been nominated like 23 times, and then he came up and said, "I told my mom I'd win one day. She's dead now." Like, thanks, thanks, guys. Um, but yeah, I like your assumptions make sense, honestly. Now this is a big one though, because this is film editing. Um, Out of the five, which are Baby Driver, I Tanya, Three Billboards, Shape of Water, Dunkirk. Um, Baby Driver and I Tanya, I feel are already kind of gone because they didn't get in for Best Picture. The last film to win
Hmm.
editing without Best Picture nomination was Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which was the most random thing, and I can't see it happening again anytime soon. And considering Dunkirk has no chance of winning, and Three Billboards is kind of in third place at the moment, and Shape of Water is essentially the front runner, it's kind of between those two. And I think we really got to watch out for this category out of
You think? Wait, which two?
Three Billboards
Water
and Shape of
and
Water.
billboards?
Yeah. Um, Whatever wins this one, I think, for that
I don't
night.
know. I think this is going to be Dunkirk's like consolation prize.
It's possible. I mean, Lee Smith has been his editor, I think, since Memento. I mean, Lee Smith's been his dude for decades. Yeah, because
Right.
he
I
was
mean,
nominated.
very early
Oh,
in the race, like
oh, wow! I'm
people
totally
were trying to
wrong.
call Nolan as best director,
Yeah.
but it's pretty clear that's not happening anymore.
Oh, I'm
So they
wrong.
can throw him a
Actually.
bone with editing. What are you wrong about? Lee Smith, the editor?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you. I apologize.
What are you talking about?
I thought Memento got nominated for editing, and I thought he edited. He only got nominated for Master Commander and Dark Knight. I thought I could have sworn Memento got in for editing. It did, but it was a different editor. I swore that was Lee Smith who edited Memento. Huh. I've been wrong for years. I really thought that was true. Sorry, I totally talked over you. I apologize. Um,
That was what are you talking about? Memento?
yeah, because I thought Lee Smith got nominated for it, but he didn't. It was uh someone else. I'm sorry. I just went off on that for no reason. Ignore me for a moment. I
All right,
apologize. Go on.
then.
Go on with
That's
editing.
that's what I had. That's what I had. Is I think Dunkirk's gonna win.
I
Not because it should.
mm. It's a viable winner. It doesn't feel like it's wrong.
Because it's like another situation where it's like most editing rather than best editing.
Mm.
I mean, if that were going to be the winner, I guess it'd probably be I, Tanya, but I, it's not really going to win anywhere, but
Or
probably maybe Janny, but
I Tanya. I'm glad it got in for now for editing because that was definitely one of the better parts of the film.
yeah, for sure.
Baby Driver definitely deserves its nomination. That's pretty cool. I don't feel either of those have a chance to actually pull it off. If it's Dunkirk, it's because of its consolation prize. If they say Shape of Water, then Shape of Water just cemented itself as Best Picture. I feel though that we're
Hmm.
looking at. I still feel we're looking between Three Billboards and Shape of Water. I actually didn't think of the Dunkirk angle till you said that,
It
but
won the Eddie Award.
it did. I don't know. My knee jerk thing is honestly Shape of Water pulling it off, but if Dunkirk won, that would be cool too. I don't see. I honestly, I'm surprised Three Billboards got in because editing was a problem I had with it. Because to be honest, again, seeing it for the third time, I kind of wonder if it could have been a little shorter. I don't know. The more I see it, the more I'm like finding tiny problems with it. Um, but I
Right.
would love Shape of Water or Dunkirk. I'd love to see Shape of Water, honestly. That's sound mixing.
Okay. So I guess we can move on to one of the most in the bag categories
Yes.
this year. Costume design. We have Beauty and the Beast, Darkest Hour, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, and Victoria and Abdul.
Yes. So
And I
how?
think if Phantom Thread doesn't win,
Yeah, I mean, it's a period film about
it's about costumes.
costume design. Well, it's about
It's about pretty
fashion.
dresses. So
Yeah,
okay.
it's not really making costumes, but yeah,
Yeah, it's about the costume design.
dress. Yeah, it's. I want that to win so hard. I really do. Like beating the Beast, everything looked okay. Darkest Hour.
It was fine, but it was adapted from a cartoon. Like they're not like
By the way, costume design, same guy, same woman for both Beauty and the Beast and Darkest Hour again. Like art direction.
although that's interesting.
Yeah.
Darkest Hour, I mean Churchill's wife had some like nice outfits, but
I honestly forget that Kristen Scott Thomas shows up in that.
it's not
I have to be reminded that
it's not
she.
like really noteworthy to me. It's fine, I guess.
Mm.
And I'm still kind of confused about whether the fish man in The Shape of Water is like a costume or a
Oh yeah,
visual effect. It's a costume?
I think that counts as a costume. He's Doug
I
Jones
mean,
is in it.
I know Doug Jones is doing it. I don't know if it's like mocap or whatever.
No, it's he's in the suit.
He's in a suit. Okay,
He's in.
so I
Oh,
guess that's its claim to the costume design.
right. Although I can't think of the last time costume design went to something like that instead of just something like Phantom Thread.
Yeah, like
Um,
there we have 5 period pieces.
yes,
No sci-fi, no contemporary.
right.
We have 5 period pieces. Classic
I
Oscars.
would. I'd love to see Phantom Thread get it. I honestly feel that's where they're gonna go. But watch like the dark horse come out of nowhere and it's Victoria and Abdul, and we just sit there with our arms crossed, like, oh, okay, cool.
No. I don't accept that. It's gonna be Phantom Thread.
Probably, yeah. Okay, cinematography. We do have Blade Runner 2049 with Roger Deakins, Hoyt van Hoytma with Dunkirk, Dan Lautzen for Shape of Water, Bruno Delbonnel for Darkest Hour, and Rachel Morrison for Mudbound. And I'm seeing a little bit about Rachel Morrison being the first female cinematographer to ever be nominated. But I was surprised
I'm
I'm not.
seeing a ton about it.
I think, yeah. I think if I looked more at it, I
And if
would.
Roger Deakins loses because of that, like he'll be
Yeah.
nominated next year and the year after and the year after and the year after because he's nominated every year. So this is not going to be his last chance, but this is probably his strongest chance in a while.
It is. I feel like this has to finally be the time because Christ, it's Roger Deakins. He's the closest we have to like Conrad Hall these days, and he needs it already. I mean, Darkest Hour is shot by the same guy who did Amelie and Inside Llewyn Davis, and he's never won.
I
But
liked the cinematography in The Darkest Hour, but I didn't care for the movie that much.
mhm. Well, again, it's that Joe Wright style. He's always got his own distinct like craziness he's going to
I
put on
think
it.
all of these movies deserve to be on the list,
Sure,
but I would pick Blade Runner.
I would too. I don't think that the Rachel Morrison thing is enough for it to really push it over the edge. But I mean, a lot of this is, I think, there's a lot of interesting stories to pull out of all these nominations. With when it comes to Deakins being nominated like 15 times, and Hoyt van Hoytma, this is his first nomination, and this the guy, and I forgot he's the one who shot Let the Right One In. which I'm in love with. So that's not enough. Again,
Oh
not enough
yeah.
to have it win, but I want this to go to Blade Runner. It most likely will go to Blade Runner unless Shape of Water is on such a fucking tear that it just picks up every single thing, which I hope not.
Okay. Something that might change things is Rachel Morrison is the cinematographer for Black Panther
Oh,
and is
I didn't
likely
know
going to
that.
be doing a lot of publicity right in the middle of voting time.
Okay. I actually didn't know she was on Black Panther. Oh, but she's okay. Wait, Fruitvale Station. Did she also do Creed? No, she didn't. Okay. I didn't realize she was Black Panther. That's interesting. That's something to keep an eye out for next year.
I mean, it's never the cinematographers doing as much like interviews and whatnot as
That's
like
right.
the actors and whatever,
Right.
but she's already getting some about being the first woman to be nominated in the category.
Mhm.
Black Panther's going to be huge.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like people are going to be talking to her about it.
Mm-hmm. Especially after Wonder Woman got nothing. That's gonna only help her, maybe. Because I'm still surprised Wonder Woman got nothing.
I really honestly think it should have been in costume design.
Should have been in costume design. I would put it in over Guardians. I know Guardians had more fantastical stuff, but fuck that. Wonder Woman's so good. But yeah, this is Blade Runner's to lose. Honestly, this is Roger Deakins' award to lose.
I would say so, but watch out for Rachel.
Yeah,
She might be coming for you.
yeah. Damn it. But I don't think it's enough. I don't think there's
I
honestly
don't
enough
think
there.
it's going to be enough. Like, I still think Roger Deakins is going to win, but I think if there is an upset, it'll
Mm,
be her.
yeah, definitely. Adapted screenplay. We have Call Me by Your Name, Molly's Game, The Disaster Artist, Logan, and Mudbound. Now, Call Me by Your Name has been the front runner this whole season because there was really nothing else. And it's James Ivory, who's 90 years old, and also
Yeah,
Call Me by Your Name. To me is the best film out of this five, just as a film. Um, like I love Logan a lot, and
I
that's
think I
actually
like. I don't know. I think I like Logan a little bit better, but it's a genre thing. Like, it would not have
yeah.
made it in a in another year. I'm happy that did make it in. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. But
Logan gets in a year like this.
this is a super stacked original year, and then like adapted has Call Me by Your Name is good.
I want. It's most likely going to win because it's James Ivory, and if it
Sure.
won, I'd be totally fine with it winning. Logan, I feel has no chance. But if they honestly get
Yeah, I
out,
don't think so.
that's. I mean, the thing is, we've already had a comic book film win an acting award. We'll never know if it was because he died. We'll never know that. Logan being the first comic book film like this to get a screenplay nomination is insane, and I love that it wasn't a Marvel movie that did it. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't
it's the first like above the line nomination
right.
since The Dark Knight. They've gotten plenty in like
Yeah,
effects and the sound categories, and then other than that, it's been nothing.
I mean it has no chance, but it's awesome that it happened. I was really happy that morning.
Same.
Mudbound getting in is cool. It's another notch for Mudbound. Dee Reese gets her nomination because she didn't get in for director. Um, Again, I like Mudbound fine, but I think Mudbound might be your second place, honestly. If
In
you had
this race, yeah, like I would probably put that as a distant second.
yeah. because Molly's Game ruined Christmas, and I hate it.
Uh-huh.
And it's about listening to Jessica Chastain not shut up. And then Disaster Artist is a really great film, but I never expected it to get too much.
Right.
I was kind of just I really thought Franco did pretty great on it. I was kind of disappointed he didn't get in, but I wasn't surprised. So I don't know. Disaster Artist, that's like its win, is that it got that in. But this is either Call Me By Your Name or Mudbound. If anything else gets in, it's because those split the vote, and then they gave it Disaster Artist for some reason. And if Aaron
What are they splitting the vote between? Like,
Call Me By Your Name and Mudbound, maybe.
How are they splitting?
Because people, maybe there's enough of a surge to get Mudbound something. If they're not going to get it cinematography. But I mean,
they're totally different movies. They're not splitting anything. Like, it's not like Harrelson and Rockwell might have a situation.
Right.
But
I don't think
it's going to be Call Me By Your Name.
It is. Oh, it's the same thing. It's that one.
Engrave it now. Like, why even?
Oh, I'll take it. Original screenplay, and this one fucking sucks.
This is a much more exciting category.
Get Out with Jordan Peele, The Big Sick with Kumail Nanjiani and Emily V. Gordon, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri with Martin McDonough, Lady Bird with Greta Gerwig, Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro, and Vanessa Taylor. Good God, this is a fucking light. Unfortunately, first off, Big Sick has no chance, so we're up to 4.
Yeah,
which is awful.
The only one without the picture nod, so
right.
We'll cut Big Sick. They're happy to just.
Unless you remember Adrian Brody.
Yes.
Okay, you remember how he won? How he was like the only in the Best Actor race that year out of those 5 nominees. He's the only one who had it won before. So all the vote splitting, the vote splitting was so widespread that he won. And yeah, we'll never see the voting totals, but that's what happened.
How are you defining vote splitting?
With this or Adrian Brody? I honestly with this, I feel like a lot of people are going to jump on Get Out to give Jordan Peele something, because they feel it won't get in for Best Picture. They feel it won't win Best Picture, because Get Out, honestly...
Same for Greta Gerwig.
Right. Same for Greta Gerwig. Probably isn't going to win...
Chance.
Isn't going to win Director.
Well, she's not a producer on the movie, so if Lady Bird wins Best Picture, Greta Gerwig doesn't leave with anything. Like...
Shape of Water... If they're doing like this, it feels like you want to see them spread the wealth, but they could easily just go Shape of Water gets everything, and then it wins screenplay and wins director and wins picture, and everyone else is just sitting there empty-handed. Like
I think we can count out The Big Sick.
Yes.
I think we can count out The Shape of Water.
It depends on the night.
It's not really a screenplay kind of. I mean, the screenplay is good, but it's not. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to be The Shape of Water.
The screenplay has to work around a lot of the sign language. And I feel that that's going to be a big part of it. Also, the story itself is just it being this fantastical, to a lot of people, they're calling it a monster movie. Like, just a straight up, like, one of the best, monster movies in a long time. That's how some people are really trying to push it. So, I don't know. It depends on the night.
I really don't think it's going to be a sweep kind of year, because even the movies that we are considering frontrunners at this point, like Water, Three Billboards, Lady Bird, they're missing pretty vital, like, prerequisite awards, Shape of Water didn't get a SAG nomination. Martin McDonagh's not nominated for director.
No.
Lady Bird has missed in other places.
I don't know. Maybe maybe screenplay for Three Billboards is McDonough's win.
Oh Lord.
I mean, McDonough has an Oscar. He won for a short film, which I think got him the funding to make In Bruges. So McDonough's won before. This isn't like. So I mean, I don't know if they're going to take that into massive consideration, but him not getting it for director might have pushed him up to give him something.
That's why but his screenplay doesn't make sense.
The screenplay itself doesn't make sense.
We're not gonna get. I don't want to get into.
I know you weren't as big a fan of as I was. It's these four, and then if you feel it's that hard to decide, then maybe it's back to 5, because maybe you get a strong camp for Get Out and Lady Bird and Shape of Water and Three Billboards, and then the big sick of people going, well, no one's voting for the big sick, I'll vote in for that, and then that pushes it up. I mean, it's like anything could happen, and it's insane. Or Shape of Water just wins everything.
Okay, well, make your prediction right now.
Shape of Water.
Really?
Yeah. Out of the 5, I would love to see Lady Bird win, and then Big Sick in second place.
Okay. Lady Bird.
Like as a win, not your favorite, but as a win.
Well, yes, it's my favorite, but as a win. If it's not Lady Bird, I think it'll be Three Billboards, but I don't want to believe that that's a possibility. But I mean, I know we're in the darkest timeline, so.
Yeah, I think if Three Billboards won out of the 5, Three Billboards would be the most boring choice. If that makes sense. Like, it would just be the most, like, yeah, okay.
The, like, obvious choice, because it's won everywhere except for Writers Guild, where it wasn't eligible, but...
It would just be the boring choice. I don't know. Out of the 5, that's the one I would be disappointed in. Although it'd be cool to see still enough, but out of those 5... Or hell, even if Shape of Water want to be a little disappointing, because we know Del Toro's getting director. But we'll get to that later. It's just that this feels like the chance to hand Get Out something or Lady Bird. So this category sucks.
I mean, it would definitely not be a handout, because this is a tough category.
It is. Out of the 5...
I think it's going to be Lady Bird.
Okay. I hope it is, to be honest. I would love to see Lady Bird get it.
I mean, it's a total toss-up, like...
Yeah, it is.
When does the Writers Guild do their awards? That might, like, help shed some light on it. They do it on the 10th.
Do they?
Yeah, but Three Billboards wasn't eligible. So...
And Directors Guild just happened.
Yeah, Directors Guild has already happened.
And that went to Guillermo del Toro. Speaking of, Best Achievement in Directing, Christopher Nolan, Guillermo del Toro, Paul Thomas Anderson, Greta Gerwig, Jordan Peele. Logic dictates Guillermo del Toro.
It'll be del Toro.
Most likely.
I have to talk about how I love this category.
Yeah.
Because I was so sure it was going to be either Gerwig or Peele, but not both.
Mm-hmm.
They both got in, and McDonough did not.
Nope.
And I'm pretty happy about that.
But PTA feels like the one that pushed him out still, after all that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm glad Nolan finally got in. I feel like one year Christopher Nolan's going to have the right film at the right time, and his film's just going to be the dominating film, and he's going to win finally. And he's just going to win like a massive sweep, and everyone will hate him, but I won't.
Sweeps are boring. I don't want a sweep. That's why this year is good, because it's going to be all over the place.
What this year is all of the critical favorites that get pushed back by the Oscar boring favorite all coming in, because there's no boring Oscar favorite that's dominating. Like the Post would be destroying something, but the Post isn't. Like Dunkirk's the closest we have, and even then, Dunkirk is doing fine. So,
I guess.
it's most likely Del Toro. I mean, personally, I'd want to see Paul Thomas Anderson have an Oscar already because he should have won for screenplay 10 years ago. But I know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, he's happy to be invited. Like, he's not winning.
Yeah, I'm sure on nomination morning, he's like, wait, really? Shit.
He's probably asleep.
Right, I'm sure he wasn't watching.
Nobody expected his movie to do that well.
Right.
Costume design and score and Day-Lewis. And then they, like, doubled that number.
Right.
Crazy.
I'm happy for it. When the Blu-ray comes out with the gold cardboard on it that says 6 nominations, it'll make me happy. But yeah, this is Del Toro's to lose. He's most likely getting in. 10 years ago.
If there's a spoiler, who do you think it is?
If there's a spoiler, I kind of want to say Jordan Peele. I don't know why. It feels random, but it's like if there is a spoiler, it feels like it could be Jordan Peele. I mean, we could be totally wrong, and then PTA could have been pulled off anyway, but it feels like Jordan Peele could be the spoiler. I don't think we're getting one.
No, I absolutely think Del Toro is winning this. But
I remember, yes. You want it to be Greta Gerwig so hard.
No, it's not even that. I think Del Toro deserves to win.
Okay.
But I think if there's a spoiler, it might be Gerwig instead. And she can owe most of that to Natalie Portman.
Yeah. Although usually that kind of Golden Globe speech thing helps with nominations, not wins necessarily. Because the last time I remember that mattering was they got Meryl Streep a nomination when she gave her speech. But no one thought she was going to win for
for sure.
Whatever the hell, yeah. So, yeah, if there's a spoiler, it's probably Gerwig or Peele. I'm thinking Peele, but it's Del Toro. I remember back in 2006, you had Alfonso Cuarón, Iñárritu, and Del Toro all at the Oscars, and everyone kept calling them the Three Amigos, and that was this narrative they were going with. And it was really racist, and they wouldn't stop doing it. And within roughly 10 years of that, they're all picking up directing Oscars. And one of them won twice. So it's pretty cool that those three are like actually getting somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked Del Toro, so
I don't think Iñárritu deserves 2 of them, but it's cool. But yeah, this is Del Toro's to lose. He's most likely got it.
All right.
Pappy McPoyle's got it.
Supporting actress. How about that?
Supporting actress, and I actually want to do something else with this too. Best performance by an actress in a supporting role. Allison Janney for I, Tonya, Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread, Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, and Mary J. Blige for Mudbound. Now,
I want to do something else with this.
What I want to do is, considering this is essentially Allison Janney versus Laurie Metcalf, with a possible spoiler being Leslie Manville, just because where the fuck did she come from? Like, there's obviously some kind of thing there that we're not thinking of. Real quick, what I want to do is for all the acting awards, because it shouldn't take long. Try to come up with the Oscar clip. Because, to me, I want to see Laurie Metcalf win so hard it's not funny, but I know that most likely it's going to Janney.
For the winners, or for all of them?
For if you don't feel like doing all,
Mary J. Blige was barely in her movie. What do they have to have a clip of?
Mary J. Blige's clip is going to be the part where I forgot who the hell she is, but the mom comes in and says, I want you got to come take care of my kid. And she's like, I got to be away from my kids for 3 days.
Okay, yeah, that'll be hers.
That'll be her clip, or right at the beginning of the film where she's sitting on the cart and they're leaving. Laurie Metcalf's is her at the airport. Octavia Spencer, I think, is...
think Laurie Metcalf's might be them in the car, like that opening scene, because in the airport she doesn't say anything.
No, but the Oscars like to be dicks about spoilers.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So
they
they
like
won't do the airport scene because she doesn't. It's the end of the movie. It's a spoiler, and there's no dialogue.
no, as in they like to spoil stuff. As I remember, they've been notorious for that. They just play clips from the end of a movie because they assume everyone's seen everything. I'm thinking, well, not just the airport. I don't know. There's so much power in that moment, though, that they might just do it anyway. Or maybe maybe the scene in the thrift store with "Why don't you like me?" Well, you know I love you. I said, "Why don't you like me?" And then she just like turns her head and puts her head on the wall. It's so subtle, but it's like that might be it. But most likely, it's going to be the scene in the beginning in the car.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Octavia Spencer in Shape of Water. I am guessing it's when she's yelling at her husband near the end. That's like her big scene, really.
Right, right.
Leslie Manville.
The one where, yeah, it'll be the one where she says she'll fucking end him, basically.
I need to watch Phantom Thread again. I kind of like the part where she drinks the mushroom tea, and you can tell she like puts it down and goes, "Ah, that bitch! I'm gonna keep drinking it," and then then it's fine. Allison Janney probably the you know that's the sacrifice a mother makes.
Yeah, that one.
That one's pretty easy. So when
So
it
do you
comes,
think Allison Janney's gonna win?
I
Because she's won
unfortunately
everything
do.
up to this point.
Best performance by an actress in a supporting role is always my most disappointing category. It's the surprise never happens in that category. It's always the boring choice. It's always the one I don't want to win. So it's probably Allison Janney. And she's fine. It's just Laurie Metcalf is better. Like she's playing less of a character, more of a person, and that is more
Yeah, it's a
important to
much
me.
more well-rounded character.
Yeah,
Like Allison Janney in I, Tonya is just like a stone cold bitch and never stops being that.
right.
And she's very good at that,
Yeah,
but
she's
there's not a
funny.
lot to it.
Yeah,
Like she's good in it and I enjoyed watching her, but
yeah. It's most likely Allison Janney. Laurie Metcalf's second place. Octavia Spencer's fifth. Mary J. Blige's fourth. Like that's it's kind of a boring category, unfortunately. But maybe Laurie Metcalf will start picking up a few more roles.
honestly, the acting categories are all pretty boring because one person has swept everything up to this point in each category. I feel
Yeah,
like
it's gotten that way.
pending a sexual assault allegation on one of these like front runner actors, like they're pretty much locked.
Right. Or whenever voting's done. Voting's almost done, I think.
No, we still have a month until the ceremony. Voting is not almost done.
Okay, a couple weeks, yeah. All right, best performance of an actor in a supporting role. You do have Christopher Plummer for the Not Kevin Spacey in the World, Sam Rockwell for Three Billboards, Woody Harrelson for Three Billboards, Richard Jenkins for Shape of Water, Willem Dafoe for Florida Project. Willem Dafoe's clip is him slapping the pedophile's coke out of his hand, the ginger ale.
Mhm.
That's like his big scene. It would be funny if it was the one where he's got like the cranes out in the lobby. He's got to push them out, but he stays in character. That'd be funny if they use that. Richard Jenkins, probably him sitting in the van where the army guy's like investigating the ID. I don't do well with confrontations and like that part. I could see them using that.
I think it's gonna be the one where he's talking to the fish man in the bathroom about like how his life didn't go the way he planned it and blah blah blah.
Mm. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that works too. Um, Woody Harrelson, uh, lady with a funny fucking eye. Yeah, that one, or I don't know. I guess him talking to Abby Cornish when she's drunk on the couch. That seems like a viable scene. Sam Rockwell's is going to be, well, who the hell else would it have been? Because, of course, they have to show the end of the movie. I could see them using that. Or him in the, not him. Yeah, maybe him in the bar. No, I told my mama I'd be home by midnight. And then Christopher Plummer is going to be.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like this is a boring category.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Sam Rockwell, Willem Dafoe. I was surprised Woody Harrelson got in. He's fine. It was cool that he got in.
I mean, maybe he and Woody Harrelson will split the vote.
And go to Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, like all the Three Billboards fans will be split between the two of them, and it'll go to somebody else.
I still feel like Sam Rockwell's is his to lose.
He won at SAG, even though Woody Harrelson was also nominated there.
Yeah.
So he's probably got it locked up.
For Florida Project, it's its only nomination.
I don't know. I mean,
I feel Sam Rockwell's got it, and then Willem Dafoe's kind of second.
I feel that all the front runners for the acting categories are going to win, but that Sam Rockwell is the most vulnerable
of the four.
Because the backlash against the movie is mostly about his character. Like, it's not going to hurt Francis, but it might hurt him. Maybe.
If that ends up happening, it goes to Dafoe. What I'm hoping is if Rockwell does lose, then they're going to go, wait, shit, Rockwell's been around for... Sam Rockwell has only been acting 3 years shorter than Christian Bale. Like, I'm pretty sure. Rockwell's been around forever. All I mean is
Willem Dafoe.
All I meant is they're going to look at that and go, wow, it took us this long to give him a nomination. And then I wonder if they're going to start pushing, like, his other, like, films that come out and try to work up another campaign for him, at least for the next couple of years.
Sure.
Like, he pops up in some random A24 movie and gets in again if he doesn't win. If he wins here, he may never get nominated again. If he doesn't win, he's probably got at least one more chance.
A24 seems to really only have the budget to push one movie, like, strongly. But I mean, they're a small, like, company. Like, they made it work for Moonlight last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have pushed 20th Century Women harder, but they just put all their chips on Moonlight.
Well, that was fair enough. It worked.
And I feel that's what's happening this year, too. Like, the Florida Project pretty much just fell off. Franco couldn't get in for Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
They just put all their chips on Lady Bird.
So most likely Sam Rockwell will Dafoe to spoil. Christopher Plummer's clip is going to be him going, you know what I need? More, which is in every trailer.
You know what?
Yes.
Christopher Plummer could be a spoiler, too.
I hope not.
I mean, I hope not, but just the whole like politics thing is most of the reason why he's here at all. So
it is. That's why. Yeah, it's like if he gets up there and he doesn't thank Kevin Spacey, like it's only reason. Best performance for an actress in a leading role: Frances McDormand, Meryl Streep, Saoirse Ronan, Margot Robbie, Sally Hawkins. Now,
you know, this was a really interesting category.
Yeah, it was.
Until Frances McDormand started sweeping everything.
I know. And I kind of wish she wasn't, even though, again, I love Three Billboards, and she's great in it. And she puts so many layers into a character she probably didn't need to. I don't want to see her win twice. I really don't. She probably is.
No, she is the win for Three Billboards I would be the least salty about.
Even over Saoirse Ronan?
But if I were voting, I would vote for Sally Hawkins.
Oh, wow. Okay. I surprised.
And her Oscar clip is going to be like that one with Richard Jenkins, where she's convincing him to like
Oh God.
do the thing.
Watching that again gave me goosebumps. Like the first time, I was like, "She's really good." The second time, I'm like, I'm feeling this now. Like, fuck, she's so good.
And it's mostly that scene that makes me say that, because like, yeah, of course you thought I would do Saoirse Ronan.
I kind of want Saoirse Ronan to win, actually, out of the 5. Like, I love Sally Hawkins, and when I went and saw Paddington 2, and the first time you see her, she's in a high diving suit. She wants to jump in the water to save Paddington from some shit. I'm like, oh no. Wait a minute. I've seen this before. She's gonna fuck that bear.
No.
I love Sally Hawkins though, but I feel like if it wasn't for 3 Billboards, she would be second place. But I feel like Saoirse Ronan is like, I don't know. Saoirse Ronan.
I would like for her to win too. Like, I mean, like I said, this is a good category. Meryl Streep, whatever.
Meryl Streep's clip is going to be her standing there with the phone to her chest, going, "Do I say yes or no?" And then that's it. It's going to be boring. Margot Robbie's clip.
Saoirse Ronan will have 100 more chances. Like,
yeah,
she's 23, and this is like her 3rd time.
It is.
She's got her like Royal English Person biopic coming out next year, so we'll see her next year,
along with Margot Robbie. So yeah, you're right. I want her to win though. McDormand winning is just going to be boring. It's like, okay, get on with it. And she'll probably give a short speech. She'll be like, "Really, guys?" McDormand's clip is going to be her talking to the preacher. Proceed. Saoirse Ronan's clip is
it's "Why Won't You Talk to Me?"
Oh God, fuck. I took my mom to see that. I've never had that kind of moment with her, but I was like, that scene hit harder the second time, even though I had no personal connection to it. And my mom is sitting next to me, and my mom's just like, "Oh, her mom's really overreacting right now." Sally Hawkins clip, yeah, that. Margot Robbie, maybe the part where her laces breaks and she starts crying. Did you see I, Tanya, yet? I forgot. Yes, you did. I know you've said it. I know you've seen it. The part where her lace breaks and she's like crying, like that felt like a real scene of I
would say like the makeup scene in front of the mirror, but there's no dialogue. They always have to have one with dialogue. Like Timothy Chalamet, we're not going to watch him like cry in front of the fireplace for 4 minutes.
No, like, I know Timothy Chalamet's clip. No, I know his clip.
Even if that's his best scene, they're not going to use it because he's not talking.
Timothy Chalamet's clip is him playing the piano. It's him just banging on the piano. That's his clip with no dialogue. Just him. I want that. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's gonna be the same scene with Allison Janney going, "You cursed me." It's in all the trailers. They're gonna not care. But yeah, McDormand's gonna win. I won't.
They don't use the same scene for 2 different characters or 2 different actors, will they? Because she has other scenes to use.
Courtroom.
Yeah, probably the courtroom scene.
Yeah, that makes sense. They would put a massive spoiler, even though everyone knows the story.
It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler.
Well, okay, they like putting the end of the movie in. Saoirse Ronan, I want to win out of the 5, but it's going to go to Frances McDormand, and they're going to be boring, and then she'll never get nominated again. Best performance by an actor in a leading role: Daniel Day-Lewis, Denzel Washington for the most boring goddamn movie. I can't believe you nominated it. Timothy Chalamet, Call Me by Your Name.
It's like, oh no, James Franco is a creep. We have to plug in somebody else fast.
Kinda, yeah. And the one that surprised me out of the 5 the most, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out.
He hit all the precursors. That was not a surprise.
He was
getting in from the start.
Yeah, but it still felt like it couldn't happen until it happened. And then Gary Oldman for just give him the award already. Gary Oldman.
Sorry, I got halfway through his name and I fell asleep.
Oh, I know, it's okay. Gary Oldman was completely cemented when The Darkest Hour got Best Picture. nomination. As soon as that happened, it's like, okay, this is it. It's guaranteed. He is first place, harder than any of the other four. The other
Has
three.
Leslie Manville been campaigning much? Because if she has,
Don't think so.
she's got to have some dirt on him, right?
For Gary Oldman?
Yeah, they used to be
Oh,
married.
oh my God, that's right. Wow, I didn't put two and two together this whole
I
time.
guess if there was dirt, she would have said it by now.
Well, look, Natalie Portman announced Gary Oldman's nomination and didn't mention Leon the Professional. So sometimes, I think Gary Oldman just like he just blends in, probably blended into the marriage so well that she forgot she was married to him. So Gary Oldman's clip is the you can't
The tiger.
the tiger you
Yeah.
can't rationalize the tiger when your head is in its mouth. Which, granted, that scene broke me a little bit. Like, God, he's gonna win. Damn it. I don't know about Daniel Kaluuya's nomination. Like about his clip. It's gonna be like
It's gonna be the one with like the single tear and whatever that's in that every promo image.
You think so? I mean, I was like, he doesn't really have like any real big like.
He doesn't have any like Beatty scene. He doesn't
No.
have that like when your head is in its mouth scene.
Right.
He has nothing like that. He's not gonna win, but
No, he might honestly out of the five. If I had to pick one that would never get nominated again, I would probably say him. Not that he's bad. It feels like a Jesse Eisenberg kind of like one and done thing.
he's got stuff in the pipe.
He does. I mean, I could be wrong. I'd like to be wrong, but I mean, apparently is he a villain in Black Panther? I know he's in it. Is he end up being like a side villain or something in it? I know he's supposed to be in it.
I mean, he's not getting nominated for Black Panther.
No, I'm just
He's
I'm just
in
saying
Widows,
like
though.
getting
I don't know
his
how big is his role in that.
oh yeah, Steve McQueen. Sorry, we're getting off topic. Timothy Chalamet is going to be him playing the piano. I don't care. It's him playing the goddamn piano. It's just
Daniel Kaluuya is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth build in Black Panther, so it's not a huge role.
okay.
It doesn't sound like.
Timothy Chalamet's second place. I think if Oldman had won before, he might have a better chance. But this is Oldman's. But Chalamet is going to have an Oscar someday. He has to, because this year was too good for them not to try to do something as fast as they can. Denzel
Chalamet has all kinds of stuff lined up. Like, we're gonna see him back here next year.
He was in Hostiles. Did you know he was in Hostiles?
I did know he was in Hostiles.
He's in it for 5 minutes.
I read that he was barely in it, which was not enough to make me see that movie.
He shows up out of nowhere, and he's got an awful French accent. It was so bad I thought his character was faking being French. And then before they could reveal it, he gets shot in the face. And I go, oh, well, okay. I guess he did this movie before anything else. It's so early in the movie, it's not even a spoiler. It's
okay. Incredibly stupid prediction for next year.
Yes.
We're gonna see Timothy Chalamet back here, but in supporting actor.
Okay.
For this movie, Beautiful Boy, where he plays like a drug addict.
Sure.
His dad is Steve Carell.
I'll take it. Denzel beyond fifth place. His scene in Roman J. Israel, I know you didn't bother to see it. There's no point in seeing it, but there's a scene where he's arguing with Colin Farrell outside the law office at night about, I want to do this big court case about court shit. And he's got this whole speech planned, and that's his clip. And if I'm wrong, I don't care, because that movie, I'm never watching it again. Daniel Day-Lewis, who is kind of third place, because he's Daniel Day-Lewis. I would love it if his clip was, the tea shall go, the interruption shall remain. I want that clip. But I think it's going to be what precisely is the nature of my game.
That
I
was
don't
such
know.
a good scene. Like, I don't understand why she's not nominated. Like, get Meryl Streep out of here. Come on.
I Vicky Creeps is just I don't know. Like, I mean, she's good. Like, I liked Phantom Thread a lot. I had a bad theater experience. I need to see it again, but she's really good. I just feel that the movie just came out too late and there was nowhere to put her, and that's it. There was just nowhere to dump her. And in the future, I mean, that could be another one that someone tries to jump in and go, "Shit, let's get you in here." But yeah, this is Gary Oldman's, and then and I think as soon as we're kind of done with this is kind of the end because I think we've already been going for a while.
Yeah.
Best Picture of 2018 with Call Me by Your Name,
Mm-hmm.
Dunkirk,
Mm-hmm.
Lady Bird, The Post, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, The Shape of Water, Phantom Thread, Get Out, and Darkest Hour. So,
So the Post and the Darkest Hour are just taking up space.
The Post and Darkest Hour are out already. So that is
And
already
probably Phantom Thread. Not
yeah,
that I don't like it, it's just too weird. It's not going to win.
right. I feel, although at the same time, I feel if this was a straight five and there was no such thing as uh, this ballot system that they do now,
Mm-hmm.
I feel your five is Lady Bird, Shape of Water, Three Billboards, Dunkirk, and Phantom Thread. I feel like Phantom Thread's that weird fifth place that has no chance in that kind of year.
I mean, Get Out has a better chance than Phantom Thread does.
I think that in a year of five, I think Phantom Thread would have been like Get Out would have been like the holy crap he got in for director with his picture never getting a chance getting in. Oh, he got in for screenplay. Then you might have more of a campaign for Peel getting in for winning screenplay. Um, this is like a three-way essentially between Lady Bird, Shape of Water, and Three Billboards. And Lady Bird and Three Billboards have more against it than Shape of Water does.
I think so. However, people have been counting out Get Out this whole season. You were doing it 5 minutes ago when you were said, oh, "Man, I didn't think Daniel Kaluuya was getting in. Like he was getting in. He was always getting in. Don't count it out.
Well, if
they want to award the most relevant movie, it's gonna be Get Out.
If it wins, it would be pretty crazy. I mean, me personally, it wasn't in my top 10 of the year. I don't think he even made an honorable mention. I don't even remember.
I mean, it wouldn't be my number one pick, but on a preferential ballot, it doesn't have to be your number one pick. It could be your number two or your number three.
That's the word I can't think of a minute ago. Yeah. I still feel Shape of Water has it at this point.
So do I.
I feel like it's it, but
I think Lady Bird could like sneak up because like
that would make me happy.
Who's out of this list? Who's rating Lady Bird lower than like fourth?
Right. No, yeah.
Nobody's putting that at your number 9. Like a lot of people love Three Billboards. A lot of people hate it. They're gonna stick it at number 9.
Yeah. The Post is getting near the bottom. Darkest Hour's near the bottom. Call Me by Your Name is like right in the middle. With like, there's too many people worried about the whole
It
thing.
has a very passionate fan base.
It does.
But you can see from the rest of the nominations, it's just like overall the passion's just not there for the Best Picture win, or it would have gotten in for director or cinematography. It should have been in for cinematography. It wasn't.
Yeah. Or even editing. I feel like there's a year where it gets in for editing if it's a little shorter. That was my main issue with it, is that if it was a little long. That was my main issue. Um, I don't know. If a knee-jerk reaction at this moment, Shape of Water, Lady Bird is a possible spoiler, or Get Out, which is like the same thing with director. Actually, it's actually going the same way. I think Three Billboards kind of lost its chance at Best Picture.
What
I
makes you
mean,
say that? I would like for you to be right, but
just the precursors don't really have it getting enough love.
are you
It
kidding? It's
didn't get
won
in.
like everything.
Didn't get in for director. I'm seeing Shape of Water. No, I mean the ones where I'm watching. Shape of Water. Shape of Water just feels like the safest choice,
I think it is,
and I
but
don't.
not because Three Billboards hasn't hit its precursors like Critics' Choice, Golden Globe, SAG,
No,
Ensemble.
SAG. Yeah, SAG's
Um,
big one, but
it missed PGA, which is also a preferential ballot,
yeah, Miss
and that
PGA,
went
Miss
to
PGA.
Shape of Water.
Yeah, those two I feel are bigger than because the SAG winner. I mean, last year was Hidden Figures, so I don't know the SAG thing. I think sometimes gets looked at as a straight up best picture when it's not supposed to be, and I don't know. It's
I mean, the winner is not always Best Picture. I mean, Hidden Figures won last year, but
yeah,
nobody's ever. That's really the only thing against Shape of Water right now is that it didn't get nominated there.
right, and neither did La La Land. Um, yeah, I feel like I still feel Shape
But
was the safest choice, but Get Out.
yeah,
I could be underestimating. I probably am underestimating the hell out of Get Out.
but they're never going to release the percentages, so we'll never know
Nope.
how close Get Out was to winning if it doesn't win.
Are we in general agreement then? In Shape of Water
I
is
think it's going to be The Shape of Water.
okay, and honestly, I'm totally okay with that.
Unless something nutty happens with one of like the precursors coming up, like
Well, what's left?
I might
BAFTA.
bump up BAFTA, but Lady Bird like really underperformed at BAFTA.
Yeah,
Um Writers Guild.
yeah. I was gonna say, I think that's it. I
That's
think that's the last.
about it for like
Yeah.
important ones, I think. Um I have a list of what happens when on my phone that I'm pulling up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The Audio Society does their awards on the 24th. That's not really relevant.
Oh, sure. Why not? That's a few
But
hundred
yeah,
voters.
pretty much everybody has already given out their awards except for the Independent Spirits, the
Right.
BAFTAs, the Writers Guild.
So when Robert Pattinson gets his Independent Spirit Award,
I can finally be vindicated. I've been bitching and moaning this entire time. During this conversation,
yes.
I have told somebody to go watch Good Time.
Is it on Netflix or is it on like Amazon?
It'll be on Amazon eventually. Like they have an exclusive A24 deal,
Okay.
but I don't think it's available to stream yet.
Gotcha. As well be. Shoot.
They should just go ahead and make
Like that
it
came out
because it's
this
on.
like
Yeah, I don't know.
that came out the same week as like Brigsby Bear around here. Brigsby Bear's been out.
I don't
But
know
anyway.
how long they have to wait. I do not know.
All right, well, I think we're pretty
So
good.
yeah, I
We
think that wraps it up.
That wraps it up. We're pretty confident on Shape of Water being the dominant force that it pretty much deserves to be. Um, it's not about personal favorites. Out of the ones that are nominated, I gave the highest rating to Three Billboards, but I don't necessarily believe that should be sitting as the permanent, front runner for Best Picture. I don't honestly. I feel Shape of Water works better as a general like Oscar winner.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll probably be back. Maybe Oscar night or the next day. to give full thoughts, and then kind of move on from there on up onto 2018.
Yep, something like that.
Unless we do a Black Panther episode, I don't know.
We'll see. I'm excited for Black Panther. I'm excited for Annihilation too.
Oh god. Okay, did you see the full trailer for Annihilation?
Yes.
Like the full one where it's revealed that you start seeing just what's in the forest?
I don't know. Like I watch trailers once and I don't like
Okay.
overthink on them because I would
There
rather
is.
just watch the movie when I watch the movie.
I forgot what I went and saw. I think I don't remember what I was in front of.
I mean, I've seen the trailer for the new 50 Shades about 50,000 times
Of course.
because it plays in front of every movie. I was watching like Olympic ice skating earlier and it was brought to you by 50 Shades. Like,
And not by I, Tanya. That's really the missed opportunity there.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
No, it is in front of Hostiles. The new Annihilation trailer almost ruins my anticipation.
I don't need to see it. Like, don't talk to me about it. I'm done.
Right. Okay, it's fine. I just there's something kind of funny in it, but I'll wait. But yeah, like I'm still gonna go see it. It's the guy who did Ex Machina. I don't care. I'm going to watch it. I will watch that film regardless. But the trailer is bad. That's all I'm going to say. It could just be a shit trailer, and probably is just a shit trailer. But anyway, I think we're good. I think next time we record, it's either going to be right after the Oscars, or maybe just we want to talk about Black Panther and Annihilation. So, all right. Is there anything else on that? Am I cutting you off? Anything else you feel the need to?
I think I'm
put
good.
out there? Okay. All right. Well, for Dorsey, this is Vinny. It's been another episode of Half Price Tuesdays, special about the 90th Academy Award predictions. And we will talk to you again soon. Have a good night.